Hi guys, I'm Marie from Soul Awakening Academy. And Ozzy, get down right now. Cheeky Labrador for you. Go on, in your bed. So today's video is all going to be about boundaries. That was a great example of somebody crossing boundaries. Thanks, Ozzy. I'll pay you later. So I'm owner, founder of the Soul Awakening Academy, and I'm a spiritual life coach, teacher and trainer. So one of my students has asked me to do a video on boundaries, and boundaries and ethics are a big hot topic when it comes to coaching. So first of all, let me say about boundaries. Boundaries are really important, especially when you're a new coach and you're just starting out and you have clients, and we can quite often feel we want to be of service to that person, and we might go above and beyond what's actually in our coaching contract. So having a coaching contract is super important. Coaching contracts can cover all things like legalities, disclosure, confidentiality, when you would need to disclose certain criminal information or harm to somebody else, etc. So you need to have all that covered, but then you can also have in there things around boundaries where time is concerned. So setting out a contract so you and your client collaborate, so that client knows exactly what to do in a situation where they need to cancel. They might need to talk to you in between sessions. Is that okay with you? How you function as a coach and how you're going to show up and serve them. So setting boundaries with your client is really important. I have talked about this in other videos, but it's just to help you understand that setting the scene from the outset is super important. And this can be done at the consultation phase. So how much do you charge for a coach? How much do you charge for your coaching services? That's one of the things that should be absolutely clear before you enter into any kind of coaching scenario with somebody. You should be transparent about your fees at the very offset, and maybe you get your client to pay before they have your services. How clear are you on cancellation? If they cancel, do you let them off once? But if they cancel more than once, do you charge them for the session? Are they aware of that? All of these things can cause conflict if you don't make your client aware of how you run your business. But then there's also other things that come down to personal boundaries as well. So you're going to be creating a gorgeous, safe space for your clients to come and have some transformation while they're working with you. So you're going to feel a sense of rapport. They're going to feel a sense of rapport and connection with you. But it's when does it start to cross a boundary? Well, it starts to cross a boundary when you start sharing unnecessary personal information about you and your life. So you've crossed boundaries when you start to kind of treat your client as if they were a friend, because it takes away from your professionality. It puts you on a different level with that client. If you start to share your own problems with your client, then you're overstepping the professional boundaries, and it will change the dynamics of the relationship. And also, if a client um, starts to message you late at night or first thing in the morning and becomes really demanding of your time and attention, how do you deal with that? That's somebody crossing boundaries. So some things just arise and you can't really preempt, or even things about when it's okay to email and when it's okay to message, and how that communication might be upheld in between your coaching sessions. That's something that can be done in contracting. If you feel a client is starting to overstep your personal boundaries, then you just have to make it clear to them in the sessions that you're only available to them via this method, and between these times, anything other than that is way outside the coaching contract and can't be maintained. So let's have a conversation about that in our next session, something like that. And just be aware where you're crossing personal boundaries as well. So let's say, for instance, you have a client and they enter a new relationship, and they suddenly they were going to the gym 5 times a week and now they're only going once. Maybe they start to gain a little bit of weight or something like that. And if you start to bring in your personal opinions or judgments about this relationship and how it might be having a negative effect, that's you overstepping their personal boundaries. If you start to feel it's okay to contact them in outside of coaching remit and outside of coaching hours, and you're starting to form some other kind of relationship with your client, then just be aware that you're overstepping your professional and possible ethical boundaries too. So boundaries is something that can um, come up in coaching, especially um, where people start to see you as something that you're not, and they project stuff onto you. It can happen because you create this really lovely space for people. They can start to see you as a savior. They can start to see you as somebody who's magically changed their life, and they owe you something, and they couldn't have done it without you. And also, people can start to form a think that this relationship is going to turn into something more um, intimate, or there's a possibility where you guys are going to become an item. Those boundaries can be merged as well. So you must always do your best to maintain professional boundaries. And it's not about you sharing your information about yourself and your own personal life. You have to be really professional. So I hope that helps, guys. Any questions, let me know. And you can check out my courses at soulawakeningacademy.co.uk.